Hello everybody, I am Laura Fobler and I'm the author of The Parenting Struggle and the creator of Recipe for Fabulous Children, where I help parents understand what to say and how to respond when anger, hurt or conflicts are present, so they will be able to create closeness, connection and a strong bond with their child. And in this free video training, I want to share with you what you can do when your child is experiencing intense emotions. And I'm talking about situations like your child is struggling with an assignment from school, or your child is very excited because his birthday is coming up. But before I tell you what you can do about situations like this, I'd like to explain something else. When this circle represents our head, can you see that it looks like a head? About 50% consists of emotion, and as the word tells us, it's our emotions, our feelings belong there. And the other half consists of our ratio, and our ratio is our ability to analyze our beliefs and our common sense and so on. And in most people, these two are, well, evenly balanced out. In some people, there's more emotion by nature, and in other people, there's more ratio by nature. But in most people, it's fairly balanced out. And in a normal situation, these things are, well, again, fairly balanced out. What happens when your child experiences intense emotions is that literally emotions can take over. And instead of 50% emotion and 50% ratio, we might look at a percentage of 99% emotion and only 1% ratio. What most parents intuitively know is what their children need at that point. And that is why I often hear parents say things like, "Oh dear, calm down. Please calm down." And they repeat that over and over again. And you may have experienced that yourself, because if you keep repeating that and if you keep saying what your child needs, well, usually it doesn't help at all. It may even worsen the situation. If people tell me to calm down when I'm excited, I feel irritated because I feel invisible. And I think something like, "Don't you see my excitement?" And furthermore, there is hardly any room left in my head to hear what the other person is saying. So that isn't very helpful at all. And then the question arises, then what can you do instead of saying what the person needs? Well, what your child needs is to restore the balance between emotion and ratio. So you need to find a way to let your child release the excess amount of emotion. And the most effective, the most productive way to do that is to simply verbalize the emotion that your child is going through. So if you see your child struggling with an assignment from school, simply say something like, "Honey, I can see how frustrated you must be." And that is all. It may sound stupid, it may sound dumb, but I assure you, you will be astounded by how effective a simple method like this is. If your child is running up and down the room because his birthday is coming up, say something like, "I can see how excited you are because your birthday party is tomorrow." And that's it. And again, I challenge you to try this for yourself and see how it works for you and for your child. There's one caution I'd like to mention, and that is that this situation can be compared to a pressure cooker. What happens if you lift the lid from a pressure cooker? Exactly. The steam comes up all of a sudden and then evaporates very soon. The same can happen if you verbalize the emotion that your child is experiencing. Sometimes your child thinks or feels there's a possibility to release the emotion, so it sometimes increases, but then very rapidly decreases as well. So don't be afraid and don't get scared when something like that happens to you as well. I hope this video training has served you. If you have any questions or comments, please post them below. I'd love to hear from you. I read them all myself, I go over them and reply to them as much as I possibly can. Furthermore, I'd love to meet you personally one day. But until then, I wish you a life filled with acceptance, support and inspiration.